I mean, I doubt.
Oh, what's your favorite board game then?
Like, I've got maybe like
85.
What style?
Like what kind of board game?
I've got like 85 games or so.
I'm probably there with you or more.
Oh man, I've really been loving.
You got to pick one.
I've really been loving Ark Nova lately.
Ark Nova. I've not heard of it.
Ark Nova. Oh, it's like a newer game. It's fantastic.
What style?
Ark Nova.
It's you build a zoo, and so it's
like a Euro builder.
What's
like
the best
Can or something like that?
It's like
holy crap, there's a lot.
Oh my god,
it's way more than I thought.
You said Twilight Imperium, and all I can think of is Twilight
Catan?
Imperium now. No.
It kind of looks.
Now that's too simple for him.
Yeah,
if he said Twilight Imperium,
Mars. It's very much a terraforming Mars
okay.
style, but less board and more individual boards. So everybody has an individual board, but there is still like community cards and community like achievements kind of and stuff that you're going after. But
and it's still head to head.
But it's a little more, but it's a little more like you're focused on your zoo as opposed to terraforming Mars. There's just the one board that you're all building there.
Is Dinosaur Island a game you've played?
I have not played Dinosaur Island.
I've never heard of Dinosaur Island either. Superfast Tortoise is recommending.
I have not.
How about Clank? You ever played Clank? That's probably my top. Pandemic.
Clank is good. You should play Clank for sure.
Right,
Pandemic as well.
Now, there are some actual pretty interesting board games upcoming here, it looks like, for 2024.
Yeah,
yes, damn it, you stole my
I'm
thunder. I was just about to ask. I was leading into it. Damn it.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize this was coming out. What?
Really?
You didn't hear about
Are
this?
you kidding?
No, I never heard about it.
There's
No
two
way.
here.
Really?
Just so you know what we have on the screen there. One of those is a Dungeons and Dragons style, which Matt is an awesome DM, by the way.
That seems awesome, yeah.
And then there's
board
the
game.
tabletop board game, which is the one on the left.
I'm always skeptical of games that try and take advantage of hype of name.
I'm stoked for that.
Yes, I agree.
You know,
I'm buying the copium on these. I'm down. I'm 100% buying.
For sure.
That being said, the StarCraft board game is actually not bad.
I didn't even know there was a board game with StarCraft.
Yeah, it's actually
sounds kind of cool.
Yeah,
and I've got to say the same thing for Frostpunk. Phenomenal city builder game, very difficult simulation style, and they made a board game of it, and it was a phenomenal translation into the cardboard side of it. And as far as the standardization of a lot of tabletop role-playing games, if they just use a D20 system and slap a very gothic horror-esque, layer of angels and demons over it, they could go pretty crazy with itemization, which is the key thing for RPG players. Like you said, I think that's one of the reasons why we get drawn back to D2 so much, is because they really keyed it out very well. And if they can capture that for players in a campaign of a tabletop role-playing game, that's phenomenal. I mean, I want to kill goblins and get more than just a leather hauberk. Okay, cool. That was nice, but give me something that's rare.
Yeah.
So is this now tickling your fancy? Is this on your radar now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on my radar. I will.
My mind is blown that you didn't know about this.
Yeah, me too.
I did not. There's a lot of stuff, I didn't catch this one.
True.
It's on my radar. I won't be a first buy,
though. Survey you can go and check out to kind of get keyed in a little bit on some of the things.
To give them, I already did that. Yeah, twice actually. I created 2 accounts just so I could do the survey twice.
Cheater.
To feel like I had some sort of input.
There you go. I'll definitely check it out.
I had a friend that he always, anytime we played Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, he always, every single game, he wanted some kind of influence from the Diablo lore, whether it's Bolkathos or adding, basically like having like Bolkathos as his like god patron or something like that, bringing something in there. And it was like actually having the lore of Diablo is actually pretty dang good. And having a world, actually just realistically, just having the book, you can implement into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition if their system is bad, which I think they're using the D6 system, which I'm not a big fan of at all. Like, it's easy for people to pick up and play, but it's so boring.
I didn't see anywhere where they said they're going D6 system.
I read something about a D6 system where you like roll 3d6, and that's basically like your standard. That's your rolls for everything. And I've played other D6 systems, don't like it. But that's just personal preference. Either way, the lore book that they bring out, like the material that they bring out, I think will be very useful for a ton of different people that will build their own world using the lore from it. And it's just being all in one place. Just that alone is super valuable. But then also having a board game as well. I don't know if they're planning on doing like a Gloomhaven or Descent or that kind of style of game. That would be really good.
Curious.
Because if you play through a story, like Gloomhaven has a story, funny enough. They have like a scenario booklet. Same thing with Frosthaven.
Yep.
If they do that style game for Diablo, I can see it doing very well. Because those games,
I see the potential of it immediately. And like you say, it seems like a Gloomhaven is the perfect way to implement it.
Hey, if you ever feel like trying it when it comes out, as you can tell, we've got cameras and don't mind streaming. So I'd love to throw some dice with you sometime, maybe.
That'd be fun.
Ooh.
I'd enjoy that.
We can get a little series going.
That sort of speaks to something that's been
a big question
on my mind for you, Mr. Llama, and that is, I know that you have to put an insane amount of time, behind the scenes, not just what people see on camera.
Yeah.
And as you said, you play a lot of games. You like board games. You're trying other video games. You're prepping your material. Which I don't know if we've covered this yet tonight here before the stream. You're creating your own game, Llama RPG. Get more of that a little bit later. But you are also a new father. How are you managing your time with all of these effectively?
And coming on our podcast, more of his time.
I'm not effective. I'm not effectively managing it. Is probably the best way. It's hard. Shout out to Moo. Again,
shout out to coffee.
Yes, thank her for allowing you to come onto the stream. I know there had to be a discussion at some point, but
for sure,
please thank her from us.
I think that's the biggest thing is, when you are a father and all that, everything is now a discussion. Everything is now a trade-off and all of this, because for me to come on here, she has to watch the baby and so it's like there's a lot of just give and take with all of that. I try and give back as much. It's hard, but I do try. You're just effectively trying to manage it as best as you can. But there's definitely, I'd say the hardest or biggest issue that I've run into with it is if I'm doing a stream, maybe it's a speed run, maybe it's a hard run, maybe it's whatever, and I get to the very end, but I'm not done yet, but it's time to kind of sign up,
time to go to dinner.
Right. It's like the baby needs to get a bath and then it has to be put down, or we have to feed and all of this. And I'm at like the hell chaos and I'm having a hard time. It's like, do I just say, all right, chat, like I got to be a dad and stop here? It kind of kills the hype a little bit. I feel
it's rough because some people would look at it like they might think that like you're not being a good dad because you're not like taking care of the child, but at the same time, it's your job. To me, people need to like realize that your job is to maybe even put in 8 to 10 hours a day, maybe a little bit less depending. And just because it's a video game means nothing. Like I had a girlfriend one time where she hated that I raided on World of Warcraft for 2 days a week, and she wanted to keep doing things on those days that I raided. I'm like, I raid for 3 hours, 2 days a week. If I played baseball those days, if I bowled, you wouldn't care. But because it's a video game, for some reason, there's like this negative connotation on it. It's like this. But yeah, I think so far, I think you're killing it. I mean, I obviously don't know your personal life.
The best way to solve that with a domestic. The best way to solve that with a domestic partner is, to corrupt them, get them in games. So I applaud you getting her into World of Warcraft, but I'm still telling you, I will buy you a copy. I know I keep pushing you, and I know you're about to hate what I'm about to say because you've avoided responding to it. Get the retail version. I'm telling you.
God, the retail.
I know. See, I knew you were going to have that response, but I'm telling you.
No.
Yes, dude, not for him, you morons, for her. Come on now. Like that, she's going to enjoy that much more. It is much more. How do you put this?
But I'm sorry. Are you advocating
friendly? How is that?
Are you advocating for retail or classic?
Retail.
The retail. Oh, I'm on board for retail. Screw classic.
No, he likes classic because just for those of you in the audience who are not aware,
he's an old school guy.
Mr. Llama, hold on. Mr. Llama is a masochist. He likes punishing himself. I'm going to do Diablo with no armor. None. I'm just going to win the whole game, and I can't put a single piece of gear on. And the whole game is designed around gear drops. He's like, I could do it without it. So he likes challenging himself with the hardest, longest, grindiest, which I have another question about that in a minute. But yes, I understand how that appeals to you, and I'm kind of learning that about your personality over the years. But I'm telling you, for her, it's just going to be easier. They got question marks over their head, like, hey, they got a thing on the map pinging exactly where she needs to go, and a mob jumping up and down, waving, hey, kill me. I'm the thing you have to kill. And it's just, it's spoon feeding, and it'll make her experience a little bit better than dying in that damn night elf cave over and over and over again.
To be fair, I think Season of Discovery was too far. I think Wrath of the Lich King is
I'll buy it for you.
Great.
I'll buy it for you. I'll pay for it.
I think
I will make me a friend and I'll buy it for you.
I think she enjoys Wrath. We're doing all right there. Season Discovery, dying in the cave 50 times was a lot. I think that one was harsh and a little tough.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Thanks for taking it so well.
We'll maybe look one day at retail.